Welcome to the Cup of Tea Time podcast with Stu and Louise.
Episode 3. I'm into it.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Three episodes in, how are we feeling?
I think the weeks are going quick because we're doing the podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait till post the next one.
Well, it's not even that. It's not like I can't wait. I feel like it just comes around so quickly.
By the time we record, I edit it, and then do some pictures for Instagram, what have you.
So yeah, it just comes around so quickly. Which is nice because there's always something to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's never like a lull.
With every recording, I can hear bits how I want to improve it.
Right, okay.
How we're going to make it, in terms of the audio and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe try a new app, maybe try doing it this way, that way, try a new program, whatever. But this week, we built a homemade pod booth.
I feel like it's more like a den. Like a kid's playing den is what I feel like I'm in.
You know when you were a kid, and obviously I grew up with two brothers and a sister, and we would literally get everything we could find in the bedroom and make a den. Blankets, quilts, pillows, everything. And that's pretty much what we've done to make this. We've got every blanket in the house surrounding us to make the sound a bit better. So hopefully it's working.
So a little background about when the podcast actually started. We were thinking about doing one, and then we decided to check what the audio would be like on our mobile phones. So we laid in bed one night and recorded part of episode 1, which we didn't know at the time was episode 1.
We just did an audio test, weren't we?
And then it went into episode 1, and so episode 1 consisted of bedroom audio and lounge audio. Episode 2 was loft audio, but in the sort of semi-cubby hole, and now it's level up. We've leveled up.
We've definitely leveled up.
Each week we've leveled up. But the aim is to get an actual podcasting booth, professional vibes. So that's level 100.
Well, again, I think for now, this is just, it's working.
Oh yeah, 100%. But there's something, you've got a goal, you've got something to strive for.
Yes. We can have we could be those fancy podcasters who've got the bloody microphone arm.
Like radio mics.
Exactly, or the pod mics where literally having your own radio show. Broadcast radio microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can swing it right and left and do all fancy things.
You know when musicians record in a recording studio and they've got the mic, they've got the guard on the front and they're absolutely going for it. That's the aim, that's the goal.
But like I said, I'm loving our little den. It's very cosy.
It is cozy.
I mean, you were in the shower, I set it up. You come up, saw it, and you were like...
So yeah, it's working. I like it.
But I'm very comfortable and very cosy.
It is cosy.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a funny old week.
Done any more knitting?
No, I've actually ordered some more knitting needles and some wool. Because basically what I want to do is knit a scarf. I know it's really easy, but I thought I'd start with a scarf. Because I've never actually knitted anything of substance. I've just knitted bits just to test out my knitting skills. Obviously I can't go to any shop that sells wool or knitting needles. So I thought, hang on, I know who to call. Nan. So we were talking about what kind of wool, what kind of size needles. And then she said, well, how are you going to learn how to knit the scarf? She said, I know you know how to knit, but do you know how to tie off? I said, there's videos on the internet, Nan. Is there? She said. So yeah, it was a nice little conversation, but she was gutted she couldn't help with the whole picking the wool situation. But I did order some wool and some new knitting needles. So when they arrive in a couple of days' time, I will be knitting my very own scarf. As I think the next time I'll be allowed to go out will be the winter.
And then you can make me a Christmas jumper.
I just feel like an absolute granny. You called me a granny yesterday because I've also ordered some baking tools. I baked a cake last week.
Fruitcake was absolutely fantastic,
Thank you
so
very much.
well done you.
So yeah, what I've done is I've ordered some more baking tools because our wooden ones just seem to keep snapping because I think when I put them in the dishwasher, they just snap open. So I've got some silicone baking tools, which I'm excited to come. So that's me with baking tools, knitting needles and wool coming very shortly.
Something else happened this week. You cheated on me with someone called Travis. So my week has been fucking horrendous.
So, for clarification, I've joined Sims 4. I used to play it as a kid with my best friend from across the street, and we would have the best time. I never had Sims, but she had Sims, and I'd always go around her house to play Sims. And when all the new expansion packs came out, like Sims on Holiday and Sims with Pets or whatever it was called, she'd always have the new one. So we'd always go around and play it. And then one of my friends, I saw on her Instagram story that she was playing Sims. And I just thought, what a fantastic idea. So I voice noted her and I said, can I please have a tour of your house? So she videoed me a tour of her house on Sims, and then I was hooked.
And then you got engaged to someone called Travis.
So yeah, I created myself, and unfortunately I didn't go in straight into a household with you. I didn't create you. I went in single lady. Then I actually proposed to him.
Propose?
Propose?
Where are you from? It sounds like a chimney sweep.
So now I proposed.
It sounds like someone straight off Oliver Twist.
And then he moved in.
Great. Fuck you, Travis. Permission to rant.
You go for it.
Basically, I'm pissed off.
What are you pissed off about?
I got an email this week from a production company saying that I will not be furloughed. So I just want to give a shout to all the creatives out there who are struggling because they're out of work, or they've been let down by a company, or they're just not getting the support from the government that everyone else seems to be getting at the moment, because we've been forgotten about, for sure.
It's hard because I think there's actually so many people that are slipping through the net.
I've got lots of TV friends, film friends, but like we've also got a lot of like theatre friends as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Who, speaking to some of them, they've also been let down because they haven't been furloughed, or it's just so, I don't even know the word really. Like I know I said I wanted to rant, but I think it's a lot of it's like it's weird. It feels like grief.
Yeah.
It's so weird because I've worked 6 years to get to where I was in January and February.
Mm-hmm.
Bearing in mind, if my contract ran for just a little bit longer, less than a week longer, I'd have been furloughed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be getting the support that, like I said before, everyone else is getting. And it's just, I think it's just heartbreaking, like to see the industry that you love so much and you love working in,
Mm-hmm.
just to be absolutely on its arse, really, because, yeah, there's so many people that I know that I just don't know what to do with themselves.
And it's strange because you look through like government website, you look at like unions, you look at what everyone is saying, and one person says you're eligible, the next person says you're not eligible, someone says we'll have to get back to you because they're not sure, and there's no consistency. And I think what's happened recently is we were getting to a point with you especially that we thought you would be eligible, and not necessarily getting our hopes up, but it started to look a bit more positive, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, something else that we read totally contradicted it. And that's when you got the email saying no,
Mm-hmm.
that you can't be furloughed because you're not eligible. And it just seems like there was new government legislation that was like updated that meant that you went from eligible to not eligible. And I understand that the government is actually helping a lot of people, like millions of people, get through this horrible time. But there's a lot of people that are being missed.
Yeah, they're falling through the cracks, big time. What I want to try and say is, like, I'm just gutted. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously something needs to change in terms of how people are employed or how people are given contracts or something. This is definitely highlighted and put a spotlight on issues that need resolving. All I'll say is, yes, something definitely needs to change for the better, because there's no way that this many people can be forgotten about, not supported, and being left just to
Fend for yourselves.
fend for yourselves. Like, I know that sounds selfish and horrible, but like, that's how can you be made to feel like that? That's not the case, because obviously I've gone out and I've got a job, and I'm very lucky. There's lots of my friends who haven't, and they've applied at places and they've said no, because actually we're looking for temporary work because we want to get back to our career that we've worked really hard to get to.
Yeah.
But some of the companies are saying to some of my friends, like, there's no investment there because you're going to leave us in however long. Do you know what I mean?
That's the same case for so many people. There was something on Facebook about a BAE pilot going to be a Tesco delivery driver. Well, of course, they know they're not going to get him back because he's going to go back to flying planes when all of this is over. So it's kind of a different situation that take the staff, and some people might stay on.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm wearing a t-shirt that's very apt, because it says, where there is unity, there is always victory. And I think if everyone comes together to try and sort this thing out, then there can be positive change moving forward.
Well, not just that, you'll come out stronger.
100%, because like you've mentioned, there is so many people that are supporting each other within the creative industries.
Mm-hmm.
There's producers that have come up and set up like Facebook groups, which have been a massive support for people.
Mm-hmm.
What's really sad is I'm hearing so many different people say they might not be able to stay in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, gee, like with TV, with being a creative, there's a lot of sacrifices, and I think it's just so sad that people are having to, for overnight, just have to walk away and just be like, I have to change my career. I don't know.
I think what's frustrating is I have been furloughed, which I didn't expect.
Which I'm absolutely buzzing for, because that's helped us out massively. Like, that company that has really looked after you. Because you worked for them for a week, and they've looked after you, they furloughed you, and made sure that you are looked after and you are supported. And that's the difference. Like, there's so much positivity out there, that this tiny bit of negativity is completely taken over everything else, and it's just, yeah, I'm just gutted, man. I'm just really, really gutted, because I'm gutted for my friends. They're just not being supported, and I think it's just really sad.
Anyone that's listening that is one of those who has been, I say in quotation marks, forgotten about, whatever you're doing really well, because it's a hard time and this is uncertain times and your whole world has been turned upside down. So whatever you're doing, you're clearly doing your best, and when all this is over,
we will get stronger. For all those out there who have, like you said, been forgotten about, I'll say what God said to me. We're all in this together, and we will come out better and stronger.
Stronger together.
So anyway, I thought of 5 things we can do this week. I want to know your 5 favourite biscuits. Because this is one of our things, isn't it? We literally, we'll make a cup of tea, we'll bring it in on our little, like, chopping board, cups of tea, biscuits laid out, literally dunky dunk, watching telly, having a little natter. Which is how we came up with the idea for the podcast.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not do our 5 favourite biscuits? So hit me, what are your 5 favourite biscuits?
Obviously, the first one has to be chocolate digestives.
From Aldi.
Especially from Aldi, thick chocolate. Love it. Any sort of chocolate digestives. Some of them are not great. If the chocolate is really thin on top, it's no good. The thicker the better, but I'm not fussy. Get it from anywhere, I'll eat them. And I have to be really careful because I could easily eat a whole packet. I know that sounds so ridiculous, but I could just... Sometimes when I get to the last 2, I get a bit sick. But sometimes you have to power on through and just feel like you've accomplished a whole packet. And sometimes we share them and it feels fine. But then I look at your pile and you said I haven't finished yours and I get jealous because you've still got biscuits to go. So yeah, number 2 is... I remember one memory when I first had a Maryland cookie. That packet of Maryland cookies was demolished very quickly. They're so small, but they dunk so well. The chocolate goes a bit melty, the biscuit is fantastic, and before you know it, it's gone. So my number 2 is Maryland cookies.
Great choice.
Not just any cookies, Maryland cookies.
Has to be.
Has to be. My number 3 would be Garibaldi, which I know you're a fan of.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Garibaldi. Fruity, and I like when you dunk them, the fruit in them, sultanas or raisins or whatever the fuck they are, gets a little bit soggy. There's sugar on the outside. It's like a bit... How would you say it? Like, what's the flavour? Like, oh, it's just flavour. Flavour. My next favourite would be rich tea.
Okay.
Very plain.
Bad. Very bad for Duncan. Very bad for Duncan.
Very plain, very average, but it reminds me of my mum. She always has rich tea biscuits in, and whenever I visit and I go, oh, fancy a cup of tea and biscuits, she's always got rich tea, and it just reminds me of being home.
So basically, your rich tea was a nostalgic choice.
Yeah, but I do like them. It's not just nostalgia. I do actually like them.
The nostalgia just helps.
Oh, I hate when there's 5 things. I just missed one, but okay. My last one, it's just digestives. Because if I can't have chocolate digestives, I'll settle for a digestive. They're actually quite fat. They're so big that unlike Maryland cookies, you get like twice the biscuit.
Right.
So an extra long pack of McVitie's digestives is like amazing.
They're always big packs as well, digestives. So your 5 biscuits are...
Chocolate digestives, Maryland cookies, Garibaldi, rich tea, digestives. What's your 5?
Number 1. I feel bad not saying milk chocolate digestives because we always have them together.
But that's a nice thing. It doesn't mean that they're your favourite.
But my favourite, which you've already mentioned, is the Garibaldi. Or, as McVitie's call them, fruit shortcakes. Just the ridge on the outside. Do you know what I mean? They're perfect because it's one dunk straight in. There's no having to half them. It's literally in. So dunk, mouth.
And a little sprinkling of sugar on the top.
And it's just fantastic.
Okay. Number 2?
My number 2 is the milk chocolate digestive.
Way.
just because it's fantastic. All the things you've already said.
Mhm.
It's just lovely bit of biscuit, lovely bit of chocolate, dunks really well, fantastic.
Mhm.
My number 3.
Mhm.
Again, you seem to be stealing all my favourite biscuits. My number 3 is the Maryland cookie.
No.
Swear to God.
I actually wasn't expecting that. That's made me really happy.
This was the biscuit that if you ever went to any of your grandparents' house, they would have them. And like you said, they're literally bite-sized,
Yeah.
aren't they? Yeah, they're just perfect.
You can fit a whole one in your mouth and be so satisfied.
Yep. Sounds a bit dirty. So yeah, my number 3 is the Maryland cookie, just fantastic.
Mhm.
Good chocolate chips.
Oh,
Because there's
it's
nothing
so
worse than like, do you know, like we don't mind getting like the cheaper packet of a biscuit.
good. Mhm. Or
You
normally
get-
sometimes they're better, like Aldi.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But sometimes you buy the cheap cookies. Fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just all biscuit and like a little shaving of
Chocolate.
chocolate. Not worse.
Or even they're not like good to dunk. Like they don't get a little bit soggy. They just stay hard, and you're like, what is this?
Ugh.
Shite.
Rank. Do you remember the boxes of cookies you could get?
What boxes of cookies?
So it was like a box. Like it looked like a miniature cereal box. And you opened it up and then you opened the packet and it was a box of cookies.
No, but I remember. Did Maryland? Oh no, that was the Cookie Crisp.
That was the cereal.
Yeah. So no, I don't know about this box of cookies.
Fantastic.
Okay.
My number 4
Mhm.
is in the artwork for our podcast.
Let me guess. Oreo.
The Oreo cookie. I don't do this whole break it apart and dunk thing.
Oh.
Just dunk it and put it in. Again, I think there's a theme here. There's always a theme with my things. Bite size. Other than the chocolate digestive,
Mhm.
one
Yeah,
dunking in.
the whole thing.
It's just fantastic.
When Oreos first came about in the UK, I took one look at them and was like, they look rank. Not going to try them. So I didn't try them for ages, and everyone was like, oh my god, they're amazing. I was like, no, they're not. They look disgusting. And then I actually tried one, and I was like, holy hell. The cream in the middle, fantastic. The biscuit, fantastic. And then the mint ones, and then these ones, and then that one. And then the golden ones, they're basically like custard creams. They're fantastic. But it wasn't until when we started taking pictures for the podcast I actually ever dunked an Oreo. So that was the first time I've ever dunked an Oreo.
Was actually.
Yep.
Right.
Wow.
Great, right?
Mm-hmm. Fantabulous.
Just get it and dunk it and put it in.
So yeah, I applaud your number 4.
Perfect. Leading straight in to my 5th and final choice, the classic, the legendary custard cream.
Good choice.
Again, whenever I went to my grandparents, you opened the tin of biscuits.
Mhm.
What was always in there? Maryland cookies, custard creams, and the third one I wasn't really a fan of, fig rolls.
I love a fig roll. But that's because of my nan.
That's what I mean. But it's not going to be on my
No.
list. But yeah, for sure, the Maryland cookies are on my list. But yeah, definitely custard creams.
Do you know what? I do like a custard cream. But because I have such a love for biscuits and dunking biscuits, I get to like 3 or 4 and I'm like, oh, I'm sick. They're very sickly.
Custard creams?
Yeah. I think the more you eat them, the more it's like, oh, okay, they're good, but... oh.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you can definitely finish a packet of chocolate digestives in one.
Or Maryland cookies.
Or Maryland
but you
cookies,
can't with custard cream.
Custard cream, yeah. But that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a good thing because I want to demolish them all.
So yeah, it's one of them biscuits that it literally brings back so many memories of just being a kid and running around outside and coming into a cup of tea and some biscuits. Especially on a winter's day. If it's been raining outside and you kick off your muddy shoes, sit down with your nan. Get some cartoons on. Tea and biscuits.
Do you know what custard creams reminds me of?
Go on.
So, do you ever remember when, I don't know if they still do it now, supermarkets do like multi-packs of biscuits?
Yeah?
Custard creams, bourbons, nice biscuits.
And then it was the malt biscuit. You're the ones that had like the picture on.
Yeah.
Do you know which ones I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
and I hate them. Oh, I can't think of anything worse. If anyone gets them out, I'm like, who are you? Anyway.
So my five favourite biscuits are the Garibaldi / fruit shortcake, chocolate digestive, the Maryland cookie, the Oreo, and the custard cream.
Perfect.
Great little list. What I'd like to do right now,
Mhm.
and I think everybody's starting to realise how incredible carers are. The job they do is so selfless, it's ridiculous. I'm witnessing superheroes basically, in the flesh. Because when you see them working, a lot of the places are so short-staffed, especially now when they need help more than ever. So they're working twice as hard. It's just mad. Obviously, this podcast goes out on a Thursday, and I think this is the perfect time to say, like, amazing. You are amazing. You guys are incredible. Keep doing what you're doing, because you are literally making this country tick.
I think what's really highlighted it for us is all of your family are frontline workers.
Yeah.
So it's not just about seeing it on the news, looking at it on social media. Like, we're getting information about how difficult it is firsthand from your family. And I think what's really difficult is seeing and hearing how difficult and how tough it's being and how tough it's getting, and not being able to give, especially your family, a hug and tell them that it's okay and actually they're doing an amazing job. So what's really nice is every Thursday when we do go outside and clap at 8, like, we're clapping for everyone that works in the NHS, everyone that is a frontline worker, everyone that's a key worker. I think it should be a clap for everyone who's fighting this in whatever way. Obviously, we're clapping for the NHS, but I do have a thought about everyone who needs to work, everyone that's risking their health and their lives on a daily basis. And I think I have a special thought and moment for your family who are frontline staff, and I'm super proud of them, and I know that you are too.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I couldn't, because obviously with every message you send to somebody at the minute, it's like, I hope you and yours are safe. And whenever I tell them what my family do, they're like, fucking hell. It's amazing. Like, my mum's a social worker. My older brother's a social worker. My younger brother's a mental health nurse. He's working on a ward. My little sister literally works in the building I'm in as a healthcare assistant. You can't really get more frontline than what any of them do. And I think sometimes social workers get missed out, and I think they're working just as hard to make sure that people are safe. Like,
basically, they're doing their job, but then on top of all of that, there's this. They're doing like double the work. I'm sure everyone is that works frontline and NHS and stuff, but I think when you know people that are in these jobs, you just think, how? Like, you've got so much admiration for these people. It blows my mind.
It's like me and my dad. I know, obviously me being in telly, my dad being sort of in the building trade. It's like, so times like this, it's like you literally just want, whenever I get emotional every Thursday when I clap.
Me too.
Just because it's literally like I'm giving the biggest round of applause, the biggest whoop and holler, the biggest bang of that pan, to just say thanks to my family for keeping people safe and healthy. And like, just this week, my sister got coronavirus. Yeah. I did one shift with her. The next day, or that night, got a fever, ended up bedbound, couldn't get up for a headache, lost all sense of taste and smell, had every symptom, other than the shortage of breath, but she had every other symptom of coronavirus. She obviously hasn't been tested, but the chances are that, I mean, she called 111 and they've said,
You've basically
had it. You got it or had it. She literally had it 7 days. On the 8th morning of the 8th day, she's back in work. Not only was she back in work, she literally came in the morning, did a 4-hour shift, and came back and did another 8-hour shift in the evening. And that's what I mean. That's literally why I just want to take a moment just to say thank you, not only to my family, but to everybody else that's doing an incredible job. You are, in everyone's eyes right now, the most important people in this country.
The heroes.
Absolutely. Not all heroes wear capes. Nah, they don't.
They don't.
Because who do we need now more than ever? We need our NHS. We need our carers. We need our social workers.
Yeah.
So, Mum, my brothers, my sister, well done you. I'm very, very proud.
So, this week's Louise segment is going to be a little bit fast-paced.
Okay.
So, again, I'm going to ask you a number of questions. Gotta say it quick.
Okay.
The first thing that comes into your head.
Right.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Something people hate to find on their windshield.
Bees.
Something a man might buy before going on a date.
Flowers.
Something you cook in the microwave.
Curry.
An item found in an old man's wallet.
Hanky.
Something always stocked in the refrigerator.
Milk.
An item found in grandma's purse.
Snot rack.
A fruit that isn't round.
A banana.
Number between 1 and 10.
3.
Something you put on a Christmas tree.
Bauble.
Something you find in a car glove box.
Glasses.
So that was all the questions.
Perfect.
So now I've done some quick fire questions for you. Why don't you do some for me?
Okay then. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Texting or talking?
Talking.
Favourite day of the week?
Wednesday.
Favourite city in the US?
New York.
Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Talk to animals.
Scale of 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
7.
Invisibility or super strength?
Super strength.
Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat animal crackers?
Yes. Being a vegetarian, I feel very strongly about that.
What's an animal cracker?
Don't know. I have no idea. I think it's probably an American term.
Scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at keeping secrets?
10.
Ariel or Jasmine?
Ariel.
First celebrity crush?
Probably Gareth Gates.
Dawn or dusk?
Dawn.
Do you snore? I'm going to answer that one for you. Absolutely yes.
I would say no.
She definitely does. Favourite childhood TV show?
Recess.
Do you believe in fate?
Yes.
Yeah, you do. What does a person need to be happy?
Love.
If Voldemort offered you a hug, would you accept?
No. So that was a bit of fun for the end of our podcast, which I think is the best segment. Jokes. I know, I actually really like ending it on a high because we finish and I'm smiling, which is good.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a really nice way to sort of pick us back up a little bit. Because we do get a bit deep at times, but I think it's always nice, like you said, just to have a bit of fun. I really look forward to your segment next week.
So I've got an idea for next week's 5 things.
Perfect.
So how about 5 places we like to visit?
That's interesting.
So
Well,
like
5 places we want to visit or 5 places we visited?
not 5 places we want to visit, 5 places we've visited that's like our favourite. So like good memories, could be a holiday, could be somewhere else. 5 of our favourite places we have visited.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's podcast.
It's just getting fun, isn't it?
It is fun. And I just eat every time that I'm recording, so I'm happy.
And again, another special thank you to everyone working their absolute arses off to make sure we are staying safe. You guys are incredible, and thank you very much. So that was Cup of Tea Time, episode 3.
Perfect. And remember guys, be confident, be cool, and be sexy. And remember, wash your hands.
Take it easy, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.